is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Righty, there he is, looking slick with the glasses, hanging out at Pete Bomberitos. So how's it going at Pete Bomberitos? Who's there? Can you reveal?
Some good prospects, two good offensive linemen. It's a smorgasbord of running backs: Tyler Batty, Kennedy Brooks, Letty Brown. You've got I'm watching just the guys who are going to combine: Jalen Warren, Kyrene Williams. So there are a number of the offensive linemen: Alex Lindstrom. Give you Tyler Smith. So number of guys always come here because
any freak stand out to you?
Actually, I'm watching the 40 times run, and there's an FIU running back here, Devontae Prince, who basically was blazing toward us.
How big is he?
He says he's 208 pounds. So I don't watch FIU, but he was invited to the Senior Bowl. He supposedly had a great first day, and then suffered a concussion and got sent home. So, but the film will determine it. But dude is fast, like fast, like receiver fast.
All right, so let me ask you something. Damn, that wind is brutal, bro.
Is it? Let me go to my car.
Yeah. Let's get you to the car and get that going that way, because it'll be a lot more quieter. Are you far from your car?
No, not really. Probably about another 50 steps or so.
Okay. All right. Good. All right.
Yeah.
You outside of that, what are you doing? Today you're not doing anything else. You go home and put together a story.
Yeah, no, I'm putting together a column, primarily on your boy Tua and the best approaches for this offense to sort of get out of second gear. Would you say it's second gear, or would you say it's third gear?
No, it's first or second. Yeah, it's that offense was a complete grind. That offense blew out the clutch and the gears and everything else. I mean, that was just a terrible offense. There was no play design there. There was nothing setting things up. There was no rhyme or reason. It's just too hard to succeed in that offense. So I would go first or second gear. There was no third gear there, bro. No turbo, no nitro, no fourth gear, no fifth, nothing, bro.
You know why I kind of disagree with you about maybe second gear? Because you can't get to 9 wins. You can't get to 9 wins with being in first gear. Now, yes, it was one of the worst offenses I've ever seen in a long while, but it's still got its job done. It still won games.
All right, so crank up that car, crank up the AC, because if not, you'll be sweating buckets. You look like a whore in church.
Do I sound better? Yeah, you're right. I can't crank it up because anytime I'm in the car with you, it messes up something. I can't remember what it messes up, but yeah.
All right. So yesterday I took an hour of my life to watch this I Am Athlete thing with Flo. So talk to me after, in hindsight now, a couple of days later, are there things that didn't make it on there? Because I'm about to ask you several things that I thought you guys kind of dropped the ball and you could have followed up on, and you didn't. So I'm wondering, is there something that didn't make the cut that we didn't see that needed to be said and that was juicy, or that was, like, example? You asked him about, hey, man, there has to have been the tanking at the beginning of the, when you first got the job in the initial meeting. But you didn't. You asked for it, but you never followed up. And you never asked him. And you never asked him and all that. And so it never came out on the show whether he was asked in the initial meeting if he was willing to tank.
That question was indeed asked. And he answered, and he said he was not. It was never brought up. Why it didn't make the cutting room floor, why it made the cutting room floor, I can't answer that for you. There's TV. All I will say is TV and journalism are two
No,
different entities.
yeah, I didn't see a lot of journalism there. That was my problem of that hour. I mean, listen, first of all, Brandon Marshall and Chad Johnson have no business doing shows like this because they know nothing about even the history of the game at times. I was laughing at Chad.
They know. I disagree with you because they know how to entertain
Yeah, they know how to.
and
Yeah, they can run their mouths and all that, dude. Chad Johnson's talking about middle linebackers and all that, dude. It was Willie Lanier back in the AFL was the first middle linebacker. He doesn't even know that, bro. He thought the first black middle linebacker was like 20 or 30 years ago, and it was back in the 60s, bro. And it was with Hank Stram, and Hank used to put everybody in positions. Dude, he knows nothing about the history of the game, and you know that, Omar.
I'm not.
95% of the players that you cover know nothing about the history of the game. Basketball, baseball, football.
I mean, but I don't think you have to. I don't think you have to be a historian of the game and understand. My middle linebacker experience goes back to Zach Thomas, maybe Jack Del Rio before that.
That's not what he was talking about. That's not what he was talking about. He was talking about the history of the game. He was talking about, you haven't put blacks in position of power. I mean, the middle linebacker just a few years back. No, dude, it was in the 60s. Relax. Okay? I know we have a problem, but please don't tell me that it was just, I saw the interview. It just
no. I don't. I'm not talking. I mean, you're splitting hairs about address the quarterback situation.
Yeah. Listen, forget about Chad and Brandon.
You're talking about a history lesson, which I could use as well. I was born in '77. I don't know what the hell happened in the '60s and '70s of football, and barely the '80s.
I was born in the '60s. I didn't watch it either, but I did go back to then study it and understand the history of the game. But neither here nor there. So he said that it wasn't mentioned then, right? At that time.
Correct.
Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
I don't think that made the final cuts. Now, why it was why it was removed, I don't know. I'm not a producer. I'm not the editor, so I can't sit there and tell you. I will say to you that I guess in order to land an interview of that nature, you've got to be cooperative and collaborative with the subject. I just got something from HBO Real Sports from Brian Gumble. I'm curious to see what that interview looks like. He's making the rounds. As we've discussed, this has to be this is going to be a fight from media public perception standpoint till it gets to the lawsuit, till it hopefully gets out of arbitration. And that's where the NFL is taking a victory lap because they're like, this got to go to arbitration. We can hide behind it. And Flores is arguing that, no, this can't go to arbitration because my oppressors, you're asking somebody who's the employee of my oppressors to now give me a ruling about my oppressors. And it has to be determined as a class action lawsuit, which is even harder battle and hurdle.
Yeah.
So everything is not, everything is, right now he's doing a media campaign or was doing a media campaign till he took the Pittsburgh job. And I think it's important that you shed light. This wasn't an interview. And this is one thing that I have to address with Dolphin fans because they're wondering why the Tua stuff didn't survive the editing floor. Wasn't a Dolphins interview. Flores is bigger than the Dolphins at this present moment, and you know that, right? You do know that.
Yeah, I know, but this is part of the issues why he did not succeed there.
Absolutely.
And one thing that I came away from that interview, he has zero awareness of his faults. Zero. When Brandon Marshall asked him about what he's got to do better. Brother, there was a list of things, and he brought up none of them. And
I think he brought up one issue that I happen to agree with. I can't remember what it was right now, and I was like, okay, maybe he does have some sense of an awareness about what his limitations are.
Speaking of awareness, okay, towards the end, Flo talks about busting through the challenges, and you guys were talking about the tanking and all that stuff. To me, in that conversation,
Yeah.
it
Oh, that
sounded
conversation
like,
gets chopped the hell up. Just so you know.
yeah. So
That conversation is where I basically explained to him all the reasons why he was tanking and all the things that you did to sabotage your own team, and he viewed them as challenges, and I'm thinking to myself, bullshit.
okay, so
But
wait a minute. So
you,
this
you
is the question. This is what I want to ask you. Did you, because it sounded to me like he knew the front office was cutting it down to try to tank, but he was purposely fighting it as a challenge because while
no,
they were tanking, he was trying
we,
to win.
he was
And
trying to win.
that's what it
And I get
sounded like.
no. I give him while he knew what they were doing, and he was a full-fledged participant because Larry Tunsil doesn't get traded, Tenny Stills doesn't get traded, Ryan Tannehill doesn't get traded, Robert Quinn doesn't get traded, Kiko Alonso doesn't get traded. I'm sure I'm leaving people off.
Well,
Without
listen,
him,
first of all, you were on a roll until Kiko Alonso.
stop it. Kiko Alonso led the team in tackles for like 3 seasons. Be more respectful. We're not going to go in the weeds and do this. We're not going to do. You like to go in the weeds and get lost.
Vince Beagle on one leg over Spicoli, the Hispanic Spicoli at linebacker. Okay,
you like to get lost in the weeds, and you're just so. Kiko Alonso led the team in tackles for 3 years.
Speaking of Spicoli and weeds, that's
exactly Vince Beagle can't play. Couldn't play last year for a team that was a decent defense. No, Vince Beagle was healthy. I mean, yeah, he came back from an injury, but he was healthy at the second half of the season. But anyway, that's besides. And I like Vince Beagle. Let's not disrespect Kiko. Let's keep it moving.
Kiko's a clown, bro. Kiko's a clown. Kiko's a clown. What are you talking about? He's a mediocre linebacker, my brother. You're completely wrong on this. You and Channing Crowder was another fool that was falling for the Kiko Alonso play. Give me a freaking break. Kiko Alonso's a mediocre linebacker, bro. Give me a break.
Name 5 linebackers the Dolphins have had that are better than Kiko Alonso since Channing Crowder.
Since Channing Crowder, Carlos Dansby, I guess, is better than him.
One
day of the week, twice on Sundays. I'll take Baker, who's better than him too.
Who? Right? Baker? Okay. But I'll allow it. Go ahead.
When did Kiko Alonso get 7 sacks, dude? I'm sorry, I must have missed that.
Baker's a different linebacker, but if you're talking inside linebacker, keep going. Keep going. I've given you 2.
You asked me better, right?
Keep going. I've given you 2. Keep going. I counted it.
Names right now of the people that are there, but Vince Beagle's better than him, bro.
Vince Beagle's not bad, bro. You come up with 2 names. Come on. You come up with 2 names.
Who's the other ones that started this? The linebackers this year. Who else?
Landon Roberts and
he'll knock your dick in your sock. Let me go with Landon Roberts. Who else?
Okay.
Who else? Who we got?
All right, Landon Roberts. Who else started for them? Andrew Van Ginkel. You want to throw that in there too? Yeah.
Oh my God, Andrew Van Ginkel.
All right.
Hopping on his penis is better than that guy. Come on.
Okay, let's go on because we don't see eye to eye on this. On this.
Come on. All right. So it sounded to me like Flo knew that they were tanking, and he was purposely going against the front office. That's what his body language said.
I think that's what he said. He said flat out that no question.
He kind of didn't say it directly, but he did kind of say it indirectly and all that.
I could tell you, I heard the whole conversation. He said it directly while they were doing one thing, which he fundamentally is opposed to, which I thought was crazy and ridiculous. He was doing another, and he was trying to win and build a culture, which is what he was hired to do. And when the ball was kicked off, and I totally do believe this, and I totally objected with it all season and still object with it now, when the ball was kicked off on Sundays or whatever day they were playing, up until that final whistle, he was trying to win games.
Well, Omar, I know that I'm the only one that was saying they weren't tanking. And all of you were saying they're
the team and the organization was tanking, except for Pittsburgh.
my
except
brother,
for Pittsburgh.
it doesn't matter what the team was trying to do. The coach was trying to win.
But here's my problem. Here's my problem with that statement. Here is my problem with that statement, and I think they included this in the interview.
By the way, you were sitting
Here's
in
my
a room.
problem with the statement, and
they wouldn't tank. All of them said they wouldn't tank. The coach and the
who said they wouldn't tank?
Both of the two players you were with, and the coach says that doesn't exist. Players and coaches,
But they know they would know. They know teams tank. Teams tank, absolutely. Now, are they going out there on the field and tanking and not giving their best? No. But I'm sorry, teams tank, coaches tank, organizations tank. Let's not pretend like they don't. When the New Orleans Pelicans were being purposely bad to get Zion Williams, were they tanking or were they not tanking?
Oh, they were. They were. And the Miami Heat, when they put a whole bunch of people on the IR for Beasley because they really wanted Rose, they were tanking. But the facts are that Flo was never tanking. At no time. He coached it to win it. And
I'm sorry. When you're claiming a guy on Tuesday and starting him on Sunday, you are tanking. You could say you're not tanking.
Omar, you're grabbing somebody on Tuesday and starting them on Sunday because you don't have enough players, my brother.
No, you had players that had to play ahead of him. You chose. You had. I can name you. I covered the team. I can name you the players that should play ahead of them. They want to throw them out there in their words just to see what's there or see what they have. I'm sorry, you don't throw people in the deep end without them knowing the scheme, the defense, the concept, the language. But Dolphins did it repeatedly and then said that they weren't tanking. Now the coach was trying to win a game.
That's all he could do. That's what he had. And he's the one, by the way, he's the guy filtering those guys
That's
out.
not all. That's not all he had. That's not all he had. There were times where he would not even play Kenyon Drake. And I'm sorry,
Omar, he doesn't play Mike Gesicki. That's my brother. You're mixing stupidity with reality. Okay? This is a stupid coach. This is a guy that couldn't win a challenge. This is a moron that thought Brissett was better than Tua. This is the moron that started Malcolm Brown over all the other running backs. This is the moron that kept Gesicki on the sidelines. This is the moron that doesn't play Matt Collins. Please, dude. This is the moron that put Jalen Phillips in coverage. This is the moron that put Baker at middle linebacker. Por favor, brother. Let's go. And let's not mix stupidity with whatever he thinks is strategy. Okay?
He's still 24-25 with a team that's supposed to be bad. So it is what it is.
And I'll tell you what I've told everybody else. It's Shula and everybody else is a stinking failure. Jimmy Johnson's a failure. Wanstead's a failure. Flo's a failure. Gase is a failure. None of them won anything significant. None of them did anything in the playoffs. Please, let's stop bragging about, mediocre accomplishments. The league is set for you to win 8 or 9 games and get lucky every once in a while to win 10. Or maybe everything goes your way and you're the Bengals and you end up in the Super Bowl, my brother. This happens all the time.
If you tank right, that's what happens.
We're exaggerating these things that aren't really great accomplishments. Nobody outside of Shula ever accomplished anything in a Dolphin uniform. Anything.
Yeah, man.
Nothing.
Listen, if you tank right, you're the Bengals. If you don't tank right, you're the Dolphins. Bottom line. And that's where we are. Organization was clearly tanking. Flo was clearly playing to win, trying to win.
Okay, so did you follow up on that? Did you guys follow up? Because we didn't get it. We don't get it, but we could tell that part. Did you get him to say clearly after that he knew that? See, because if he knew,
yes, he said that during the interview, and he said the relationship that he had, and he said that during the interview that aired, the relationship that he had with Steve Ross and the organization was ruined because he wouldn't tank, and he wouldn't and he wouldn't sabotage his team, and basically African Americans, this was the storyline. His storyline. African Americans are forced to take bad jobs, and this is how they treat us.
Well, that was another follow-up I had, because when you guys, I was made to do things that white counterparts don't do. And you guys asked him like what, and he says,
I disagree with that.
Lose to win, right? But then there was no follow up on asking him what are the other things they made you do that they wouldn't make white counterparts do, because you guys asked him that, and he said pay to lose. Okay, we knew that already. Was there anything else? Did you guys follow up with that and ask him what other things did they make you do that you wouldn't have to do outside of pay for lose? Did he have anything else?
I think he talked about the ethical stuff, which is, you know, the Brady yacht meetup, and I didn't buy a lot of that stuff. And I still know, you know, I'm sorry, him and who's Cincinnati Bengals coach,
Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor. They took the job at the same time. They basically had the same opportunities. And I'm not saying Zach is a good coach, because I don't think Zach is a coach that Flores is. I think Zach's got a better quarterback and a better offense. He doesn't even have the defenses he had. But I'm sorry, Zach was tanking, and you can deny it all that you want, but Zach was tanking. So white coaches are forced to do those things, and they are forced to take bad jobs, and sometimes they win out by doing those things that help them get to the next level.
By the way,
That was really,
by the way, they have a better pass rusher than we do.
okay.
No, they do. I
Right.
mean, the guy had 14 sacks this year, and he had like
Okay.
17 the year. Yeah, like I think he's the number one in the NFL, or maybe behind TJ Watt. Last 2 years, the kid from FAU is a monster, bro, for Cincinnati.
Okay.
He's really, really
Right.
good. But go ahead. I'm just saying their defense is a little better than what we think sometimes. You know, if you really look at it, they got a couple
Yeah.
of players on that team. That defensive end is a stud. He's got
Um,
motor.
I don't think, you know, I don't think that claim was fair to Miami, but I understand what's happening, or what was trying to be executed during that interview. And honestly, he said a number of times, I don't want to make this about the Dolphins. It isn't about the Dolphins, and it's more about a lawsuit of fighting for equal opportunity, equal hiring practices, and things of that nature for African Americans. And that's the bigger picture. A lot of the
By the
Dolphins.
way, we could have followed up on it too, also by saying, well, if they're asking you to tank, what do you think Zach Taylor was doing with the Bengals?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can ask in hindsight of a 2.5 hour interview that's chopped down to 60 minutes. I mean,
No,
and there are a lot.
but to say that, well, you know, I'm a black coach and they're asking me to tank, well, maybe that's what they were doing in Cincinnati also, and he's white. So I'm just saying, Pat Riley's white. He tanked for Beasley. He thought he wanted to get Derrick Rose. He talked up Beasley as much as he could and tried to sucker Chicago into taking Beasley, and they wouldn't. They took Rose, and he was pissed. But you know, the tanking thing goes in many ways, like you said. So is it really that you're a minority coach? Did we lose him? Because the name is there, but not the camera. What is it? What do we got, Sean? I think we lost him. Let's see if we get him back. All right. Andy Breakstone, let's see. What is it? Flores is mad because Giants wanted a head coach who isn't the worst offensive-minded coach in the NFL. Vince Beagle isn't better than Kiko. Oh, yes, he is. Way better. I'll take Vince Beagle every day of the week and twice on Sundays. Plays relentless. Love that guy. Shame the injury. There we go.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I hear you now.
All right, I got to get out of this win, or at least get. No. So, yeah, a lot of things could be. A lot of things were chopped up in the interview, and it is what it is. I thought the interview reflected the majority of what the gist of the conversation was, and certainly reflected what his message was. First time he's done a sit down for a 60-minute interview. I'm appreciative for the opportunity to be a participant in it. Did it come off as great as I would hoped it had, or showed a lot of the different perspectives or angles that or questions that we addressed and covered. It didn't show all of that, but it I'm not an editor, so
did you talk to him about him being a douchebag with you?
No, I don't think that's relevant. I really don't.
But on the side, at least, before, after, like, yo, man, you were a douchebag with me. You got anything about that?
I don't care. I don't care that he was a douchebag. I don't even know if I would call it a douchebag. He was an asshole. My like that happened before the season. It didn't impact how I did my job during the season. It didn't impact my, we're not friends. Like the interview was done with the understanding we're not friends. We're not friends. But I still have a job to do.
Are you sure? Are you sure? I saw a skirt and pom poms with Chad Johnson. I swear I saw a skirt and pom poms.
Chad loves him, but understand, Chad
was doing splits and somersaults and everything.
No. I think people misunderstand the fact that, a lot of us, myself, you, the players, Brandon and Chad, they've seen what's happened to African American coaches. The coach Chad is closest to is Hugh Jackson. Chad saw what happened to Hugh in Cleveland. Like I'm sorry, but let's not pretend like African American coaches don't get a raw deal in the NFL.
I know they do. There's no doubt they do. Okay.
Yeah.
We got to use the right examples. That's all I'm saying.
No. I don't think he's a bad example, because here he is, 9 jobs, 9 openings. Obviously he's not going to get the Dolphins job. 8 jobs, he gets none. 24 and 25 record. Basically won with a rookie quarterback, turned around a franchise that started 1-7, and no legitimate looks. Now, yeah, the lawsuit turned off 2 teams, but I don't think those are jobs that he wanted to begin with. Let's be real about it.
And the fact he also proved he could never build an offensive staff. So why would you hire somebody that could never build an offensive staff?
I don't think it's safe to say he could never build an offensive staff. He did it in. I don't think it's safe to say or fair to say he can never build an offensive staff. He did it in 2020. Then he lost it. Then he struggled last year because of some bad hires.
And as I've told you, he did not bring the offensive coordinator.
Yeah. We're almost out of charge here, brother.
One more before I let you go. Did you guys talk about the text from Bill Belichick?
Yes, we did. That was included. That was included in the document.
But this is the part that I was going to ask him, because he went off of it like this is what goes on in the league. How do you know Belichick was not just going off reports on Pro Football Talk and other places that everybody pretty much was saying he was going to the Giants because they had the Bills GM went there. That's why the GM from the guy from the Bills went there to become the GM. I
think what he was addressing was these are the back channel conversations and discussions that often happen with African Americans being excluded and hiring being done with us still participating in sham interviews. And he's accurate. Those now in
this case,
yes.
Is that accurate?
Listen, in this case, me and you both knew that Brian Daboll took that job before Flores was even interviewing for second round. So let's not pretend like this is like, or maybe no. Brian Daboll took that job before.
And I'm sorry. What is wrong with that? I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with that.
Yeah, my sound is horrible.
If you own the team and you think and you have the GM and a coach that work together in one place the last couple of years where they help turn around a program, it behooves you not to bring both of those together.
I think I'm out, bro.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, can you hear me?
We'll talk. Yeah, but it's broken up a little bit. It's crackling.
All right, bro.
All right, go later. All right, that's Omar Kelly in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
This is the Big O Show. old show.